If you're Nigerian, you're living in the UK and you have been wanting to explore Europe, but you have been putting it off just because of the visa wahala and you are scared that you're going to get rejected, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to be telling you every single thing that you need to get your Schengen visa as a Nigerian living in the UK. The document, the timeline, the processes that I use, the cover letter that I use, every single thing that I did to get my Schengen visa, I'm going to be putting everything into this video. So you need to watch this video to the end. And
I never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon guys. My name is Temi Akinbo, and if it's your first time ever coming across this face, I'm a travel creator, a lifestyle creator. I create content on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, and I must say I create really good content, so this is your sign to subscribe to me. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Schengen visa. I want to put you guys on to every single thing that I did. Basically, the Schengen visa is a group of 29 European countries that have come together to say that if you have one, you allow free movement between the all 29 countries. This means that on a single visa, you can explore 29 regions. So basically, if you have France, you can go to Spain, you can go to Amsterdam, Belgium, every single area in the Schengen region covers the visa that you have. You live in the UK, right? If you were there back, I think 2015, right? The UK was part of the Schengen region, was part of the European Union. But due to Brexit, they took themselves out of it. So if you're in the UK, and you're on a BRP or an e-visa, you definitely do need a visa to go to the Schengen region. To be honest, every single person, so far you have a tie to this UK, then you can apply. Now, this is where a lot of people get it wrong and get their visa rejected, right? So with the Schengen visa, the rule is, right, you have to apply to your first point of entry. What this means is that, let's say you want to explore multiple Schengen regions, right? You have to start somewhere and you have to start with the first point of entry that you want to go to. So for instance, you're going to Spain, right? You want to go to Barcelona, you want to go to France, you want to go to Portugal. If you're going to be spending more time in Spain, then apply through Spain. That's how you choose your destination. And you apply through the Spain embassy. If you're going to be spending more time in France, you apply through that. There's also this myth of people saying that, right, you don't necessarily need to go to the first country. Honestly, I'm also of the opinion that you don't necessarily need to go to the country that you apply to, but just because you will need that visa again, I always advise you don't have to spend a long time there. If you can go there first, get your stamp there first, that's the best one, right? But not going through that country at all, I do not recommend it. So my basic rule with choosing the right countries right now is apply to the first point of entry that you want to go to. The two most ones that everybody talks about, or let's just say three, is Spain, France, and Amsterdam. I applied personally through Spain and I applied to the one in Manchester, which I would not genuinely recommend because their processing is so slow. But apparently, if you apply through Spain in London, it's faster, right? They took 45 days, even more than, right, to get back to me, right? But I've heard that with France, right, you can get 3 weeks. With Amsterdam, you can also get faster processing. One thing again I would like to point out is if it's your first time applying for a Schengen visa, right, the processes sometimes might take a long time, and that's why the documentation and the things that you put is very, very important. For me, I would say that with Schengen visa, the major clue is finding the dates, right? If you find the dates, then it's easier to pick where you want to go to. Number one thing that you need is your passport. You need to make sure that your passport is valid for 6 months after the return date, right? They always require that. So just always have your passport. If your passport does not have 6 months left, I would not advise you to apply for the Schengen visa yet. Get a new passport, then apply for it. Number 2 is your e-visa or your BRP. Another rule that I have heard, which I don't know if it applies to me, is that you should also make sure that you have like at least 6 months on your resident permits before you do apply for the visa. I don't know. I've not experienced that because when I did apply, I still did have about 7 or 8 months left. Right? So you need to have your e-visa or your BRP card. Mostly it's your e-visa that you need. Your BRP is actually not important in the grand scheme of things. Number 3 is a completed Schengen visa form. So depending on where you want to apply for, I'm going to be talking through Spain because I applied through the BLS, right? So there was a form that I filled every single thing. One advice I'm going to give you is make sure that every detail that you are putting there is right? Don't lie about anything. If you have had a visa refusal before, say that, right? Be genuine and be truthful in your visa application. And yeah, you need that completed form and it needs to be signed because you're going to be submitting it in the embassy. Number 4 is travel insurance. You need, I must get a travel insurance. There's no two way about it. And you need to make sure it has over 30,000 euros, like medical reimbursement or whatnot. There's so many insurance websites that to use, right? One place I'm going to advise you to do is go to compare the markets, right? It will tell you the best ones. I use CoverWise and I think it cost me about £24 for my old visa process. The other one is 2 recent photographs, right? But I did not take any pictures, so I do not think that is important. They do say that you need to have that, but I don't think that's important because at BLS they took my picture, so I didn't really need that and I didn't take that. The next one is your proof of accommodation or where you are going to stay. If you're staying with family, you need to have them write a letter that you're coming to stay with them. If you're staying in an hotel or an hostel or Airbnb, make sure it has something that has free cancellation, and that's why I always recommend bookings.com. Booking.com just makes life easier, right? When you're filtering for the hotel or wherever you want to stay, put free cancellation, and most times you can cancel at any time, so you don't necessarily need to pay for it. See, with Schengen visa, I feel like you should not pay for anything until you get the visa, because you can do everything right and still not get the visa. So using bookings.com, I think Airbnb also still gives you like free cancellation, but bookings.com is a website that I trust and I will continue to trust. So use bookings.com to get your free cancellation place to stay, and it doesn't have to be very expensive. You can choose the cheapest accommodation because you know that if you do not get it, you can cancel it, and after you get the visa, you can also cancel it. The next one is your flight ticket. See, if there's one advice I'm going to give you is do not pay for your ticket first hand, right? If you can afford it, then pay for it. I would advise you to get a ticket that has a cancellation policy that you can cancel, or better still, get a dummy ticket. I used a dummy ticket and it worked for me, right? That website that uses dummy ticket, I paid for one of all these dummy websites, but after I went to Reddit and I saw the information and the reviews, I was just too scared and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. However, I found somebody that's what this person does. The person helps you get like dummy tickets, right? I do have his contact and I will share his contact, but it's in my ebook about the Schengen visa, so you will need to purchase that. It only costs you £5 to get the contact of the person. So yeah, if you want that, the ebook link is in my bio, so you can get that to get the person's contact. Number 8 is a cover letter. See, cover letters are important. I mean, I've heard stories of people say that they didn't necessarily use a cover letter and they still got their visa. I don't know about that. All I know is that I used a cover letter and it helped. Your cover letter needs to have your name, your address, the reason why you're going, your hotel that you're staying, right? The itinerary that you have planned, you know, if you have paid for stuff. It's your chance to explain to the visa person within your visa why you want to go there. Honestly, I feel like as a Nigerian, you will be humbled when you are applying for visa, because you are basically just telling somebody that this is the reason why I want to go and spend my money in your country. And sometimes I feel like it's very humiliating, because why do we have to go through that? But yeah, you do need a very detailed cover letter, right? I do have a cover letter template that I will share with you guys, but it's part of the bundle. If you want that, the link is going to be in my description box. Number 9 is your bank statement. Your bank statement has to be consistent, right? It has to be the account where you actively spend money on. I would advise your salary account. I would advise your business account, whatever account that you know that is very active, right? You don't want to give them an account that you just dumped a lump sum of money. It needs to be explainable. It needs to show that there's money coming in and there's money coming out, right? I would always advise that you use like regular banks like HSBC, Lloyds, right? Because you know, you can also get a letter from your bank. I did get a letter from my bank to say that I've been backing with them for this so years. This is the amount of money that comes into my account, flow and whatnot. So my bank wrote that letter and I carried it. So it was part of the document. They didn't ask for that, but me, I just went an extra step forward to do that. Another thing they would also tell you is that make sure that you have, I think it's about £90 per day. But one thing I would advise, let's say that you're spending 3 days, right? And basically all you need is about £700. Go times 2 of that, right? For my account, I think I had £2,500 in my account to show, right? So it was my salary account and it was regular. These are the things that make or mar your visa. You need to be very strategic when you're applying for a visa as a Nigerian, because first, there's already a stigma that you're Nigerian, so this is your problem, this is this and that. You need to prove to them that, oh, I am a truthful person, I am going to come back, I have something, right, that is going to make me come back, a job, right, this is my account, right, these are the things that I'm able to save. And let's say that you have different accounts, I would also advise that explain it in that cover letter. Let's say one lump sum of money, like maybe £15,000 just entered your account. Explain it in that letter, this is why it does come that. So yeah, your bank statement needs to show at least 3 months, and it needs to have a closing balance that covers you for the period that you are going to be there. If you're a student, you are going to need a letter from your school, either your enrollment letter, your CAS letter, any letter that just shows that it's tied to your school. Basically, with visas, the most important thing is that just show that it's tied to the country that you're in and you're going to come back. So go to your school, ask for a term letter. Let there be a letter that shows that you have taken permission that you're traveling and you're going to be coming back, right? You've paid your school fees, your CAS letter. Get that letter from your school. It needs to be well detailed. Get a letter from your lecturer if you can. Just pack enough letter. You just need to show proof that there's something tying you back to the UK and you're going to come back. you need to get your pay slip. Your pay slip, at least 3 months. I use my 3-month pay slip that shows that this is the money that you earn and how you do earn the money. Another thing is get your manager or your HR to write a letter showing that you work in the company, you've taken permission, and you're going to come back at this certain date, right? I got a letter from my HR, I got a letter from my manager, basically saying that, oh, I have requested for leave, the so date that I requested for leave, and I'm going to come back, and I've been in this company for this so dates, right? Just anything that just shows that there's tie, right? That's all that you need. Another thing is, if you're married, I mean, at the embassy, I realized that they were saying that, oh, they don't really need it, but get your marriage certificate to show that you have husband. You're coming back to your husband. The first one and the most important one is finding the date. I feel like that's the major thing that you need to find it is, right? So there are a few tips that I do have. One thing that worked for me is finding the date during the night. So for BLS Manchester, right, I did not monitor it a lot because my friend had applied before and she had told me that like every new month, like the beginning of the month, close to that time. So basically, let's say that we're in May, right, and you want to apply for like June. Finding the date at 27, just be checking it in the night. They always upload new date, and that's what works for me. So I applied on 31st of March, but I got a date before that, right? So I was monitoring it at night. So I'm talking 12 a.m., 1 a.m., just be monitoring. They'll always drop new dates around that time. So other thing that you can do is there's a Telegram group that posts dates, right? I didn't use that. I was going to use that, but since I found dates, right, I did not use that. But I have a friend that has used the Telegram group, right? You go on the group, you join the group, right, and you find the different dates and you can apply through that. I think you have to pay for that. Maybe it's about £5 or something. That's what you have to pay for. But yeah, I'll drop the Telegram group in the description box so that you can do that. So you can apply through BLS. So if you are going to Spain, that's where I applied for. BLS is the best one to apply for. There's also VFS, there's TLS, there's so many centers. And another tip I have for you for securing the dates is apply before, like, so let's say you're traveling in August, make sure that you apply in May. Like I'm basically traveling, I think I'm traveling in July, and I applied in March because they do take time, right? And if your date passes, that's also part of the reasons why you can get rejected. So give time, look for the date time, be very proactive. You can't just wake up, you're Nigerian. You can't just wake up tomorrow and say, well, I want to apply for a visa. That's not how it works. Except if you have a British passport, an American passport, then you can do that. But if you're Nigerian, you have to be very strategic about placing yourself and applying for the things that you do need to apply for. So yeah, after you have gotten the date, the next thing you're going to go to is go on the websites, right? Fill out all your information, you do everything, then they give you like a slip, an appointment slip, and then you go on the day of the appointment. See, on the day of the appointment, I would also advise you is get there early, don't get there late, right? Get there 15 minutes before the time, 30 minutes before the time, right? So that you can have ample time to gather all your documents together, right? Another step is gathering all your documents. All the documents checklist that I've given you, right? Get every single thing and make sure that you have prepared before the day. You have gotten all the documents. You don't want to be getting your documents 2 days before. Me, I don't know, maybe I'm just a type A person. I've gotten my document like 3 weeks before my appointment, doing everything, the letters that I need, booked my leave, every single thing. I had prepared this before the time. So give yourself ample time to gather the documents. Once you've gathered the documents, you go for the appointment. They ask you questions. To be honest, they're not asking you questions. You're only doing like fingerprints, take your pictures, and that's it. And then you are going to wait. You see that wait time? I don't know. It varies for different people. But as Nigerians, I feel like it does take time, right? I've heard Italy does like 3 weeks. I've heard like Netherlands 1 week. I've heard Spain sometimes 1 week, right? But for me, it took 45 days. The first thing that I paid for was securing a date. I paid to secure the date from the BLS, and that cost me £14.95. The next thing that I paid for was insurance. I used CoverWise, and it cost me £9.30 for my insurance. I used Compare the Market or on comparethemarket.com to find the cheapest, and CoverWise was the cheapest. There's also Post Office and whatnot, but they are most expensive. CoverWise was the cheapest, and they did accept it. The other thing that I paid for was dummy tickets. See, that dummy ticket I paid for too. I paid for flying.helpline. Yes, you can use that website. It costs £8.97. The major expense I paid was £120.97, and that's my visa fee. That covered, I don't know what that covers, but yeah, I paid £120.97, and that brings my total for the whole Schengen visa to £154.06. Honestly, I think that is worth it. I mean, it would be nice if they gave me more time, but they gave me 8 days, and best believe that I'm going to make the best of that 8 days. And you guys are going to have to come back to my channel to see how I make use of that, because you're traveling this summer. It's the Euro girl summer this season. But yeah, guys, this is every single thing that you need for your Schengen visa. I've covered every single thing that you do need, right? I also have an ebook which is in the description box. It has the checklist that you're going to use to check yourself. Also has the tips that I've spoken about, but more tips, the contacts that I use, how I got my visa, every single thing, and it only costs you £5 for the information, right? If you want that, the link is in my bio. So yeah, guys, this summer you guys better go to Europe, because I feel like the opportunities with Europe is so stunning. 29 countries. Why are you not going to go? Struggling with your visa, that's one thing my brand Escape does. We do help you with visas as well. Schengen visa to be precise, Thailand visa, Bali visa, Singapore visa. Like, we deal with a lot of visas. And you can come to my DM at Temi Akinbo on TikTok or Instagram, or just email me and I would answer you. I hope that this video has helped you guys and you guys actually go to Europe this summer. And on that note, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.